Okay, so in the last video was just basically showing you how to get started with FL Studio. And today I'm kind of going to go over volume adjustment and automations. We're going a little bit more advanced today. So let's pull up our song. Now, if you ever notice on majority of songs, when they start out, they'll fade in. So I need the song to fade in. So since it's on the synth, now if you're fading in everything and you have multiple instruments, you can do this on the master bus instead, but since the synth is the only one there, I can go ahead and use that one. So I'm going to right click, create automation clip, and there you have it. There is your automation clip. This is your volume for the synth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click to add a point. Then I'm going to drag this down. And as you can see, we now have a fade in on there. Okay, so we have it fade in. Now you can also adjust the volume for everything. Just right here if you want to adjust it, a simple adjustment. So now we know how to fade in. We can also use that to fade out. But also, before we go there, I want you to notice something. Right here now in the channel rack, you have this right here, the synth volume automation. And also, if you go here onto your playlist, see you got your patterns right here. This is your waveforms if you have any, and this is your automations. So this is your automation for that synth right here. So what I like to do is I would like to go ahead and rename and color. And since you already have a synth right here, it'll color it for you. But I also want to change the name. So we'll go ahead and rename it. Synth fade in. Sounds very generic and very good. So we'll go with that. Now anytime you want to add that to it, you could always just put it in there. But we're only using it for the beginning. And you can use the same thing to also create the fade out. Actually, let's see. You just use the same one. Kind of make a fade out. Or you can make sure it's at the volume you want it. Delete that one. We'll go to the very end of it. Again, since it's only put on the synth, it's not going to do everything. If you want to automate and have everything fade in or fade out, you always use the master bus to do that. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of adding effects. We'll add effects to our instruments. So, say I want to add effects to my synthesizer. Go right here to the very side. You got all these slots. This is set on the synth. Click on it. So let's see, what would be good for this? We'll start off with an EQ. Actually, ROM. I really like ROM. It is a reverb effect. Adjust the volume and everything for here. But you also, with that same concept with the automation that you added to the volume, you can also add to the effects here as well. So I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to go ahead and right click, create automation clip, and this is your ROM level. Now it's set to the very top. Say you want the effect to gradually come in, you could do that. Slowly getting more and more of the effect in. This can be good for like a build-up if you're trying to build up something. Can I have this a little bit off? Yeah, I think that might work. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so we added a reverb to the synth track. I want to go ahead and mess around with it a little bit. There we go. So let's see, what else can I add to it? I am going to add an effect to the bass. Let's see. How about an EQ? A Fruity EQ, which comes in, I'm going to go with the EQ2. I usually don't mess with this program because I have a Neutron 3, and that's what I use for my mixing. But this shows you what you can do with the stock plugins. So, this shows you your frequencies and where everything sits on it. If you want to boost your bass, your sub, you can also use the right click and the little pattern to get it to loop. Okay, so we did that. Let's see, what else can we do? Panning, we can also do panning. Well, since we're into the automation, we'll go ahead and talk about panning. Here are your panning knobs. This brings it to your right, and this brings it more to your left. I'll show you. Pattern will go to the drums. Anything in FL Studio can be automated. So you can create a clip, your panning clip. Now you want to be careful when you add automation to your panning, because if you do it too much, you can definitely destroy a mix. You want most of your stuff in the stereo space to be pretty centered, but you can add really cool effects by doing this. In fact, on the battle theme that I made on the last video game music CD that I invented in the game, I actually used panning on the very beginning to add a suspense to it, to the strings. Oh, there we go. So that's about it for this video. Kind of gave you an idea of how to adjust your volume, add effects, how to automate clips. So that's a little bit more into it with this one. And the next video, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with that one, but we'll just have to play it by ear. And that's it for this video. See you next time.